I was like, I already know this.
Yeah. I already know that.
I'm 4.5.
Okay, cool.
Too bad we can't do a reenactment.
Silence!
Just before we got on, reenactment. I'll reenact it in a story way. Just before we got on the recording, I was just silencing my phone, and I said, silence.
Yeah. And
but it sounded like I was telling Connor and Ali to be quiet.
Yeah, no, it sounded like, silence!
Silence!
What a funny thing to do, just like in a regular like environment.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have to clap. You have to be like, oh fuck, I just spilled a bunch of
or
beer
you have to
in my
ring a little
pants.
bell.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'll just look like Pissy Pants McGee all fucking podcast.
That's what me and Connor call you.
Pissy Pants McGee?
Yeah.
That's so fucked up. There's so many
times
more...
you're late, like just before.
God, that's so...
Waiting on Pissy Pants McGee. Here.
God damn it.
Yeah,
I
we
can
got
never...
you good.
Dude, remember that one story I told you about how I pissed my pants on those like water boat things?
Yeah.
I drove past it with Dave and I was like, pissed my pants on there once. And he's like, how old are you? And I was like, too old.
You also thought you were being genius by pissing when you were getting wet.
Yeah. I was like, nobody will know.
Yeah.
But then there's piss in the boat.
Yeah.
So people know.
People know.
Merry Christmas, everyone, to those who celebrate.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah was started on the day of
Hanukkah.
Christmas. First day of Hanukkah was the first day of Christmas.
Yep.
Happy Kwanzaa to our listeners.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy winter solstice.
Oh, man.
What are other ones?
What
Happy birthday to people whose birthday it is.
Happy birthday. My brother's birthday's on Christmas. Happy birthday,
that's
Drew.
right. Yeah. That's
I got him
right.
a jacket, boring adult gift. But
dude,
he liked it.
I got my brother a hoodie that's like, it's like 2 hoodies in one.
Oh,
and it's
nice.
literally branded for guys who do tree work.
Mm-hmm.
And he
has
loved
layers of
double
jacket.
It's like literally 2 hoodies like stacked on top of each other.
Nice.
And he put it on and he was so excited. He had slippers that he got from Lindsay and he had the hoodie on that he got from me on Christmas morning. And then he was like, God, it's too hot. I have to take it off. And I'm like, yeah, well, we're
using
inside.
my layers.
Yeah.
And you get all excited and layer down.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Nice.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns.
To Worthless Clowns. Yeah. It's a podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Brittany's Cardwell on Instagram.
And I'm Ali O'Neill. You can find me on Instagram at It's Sally O'Neill. Follow the pod. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Tell your friends if you like the pod. Rate the pod.
Rate the
share
pod.
It around. We're trying to get our numbers up, you know?
Yeah. We're trying to get our numbers up, you know? I like your nails.
Oh, thank you.
They're like pearl colored.
It's like iridescent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when you show your nails. You're like, she does like creepy little hand things to show her nails.
Do you ever like, I remember doing this as a kid a lot. Like if I'd paint my nails, then I'd go in the mirror and I'd like.
Oh yeah, like touch your face like casually.
I try and pose like they do in the, like in ads.
Yeah. For nail stuff. They're like.
For nail stuff. They're always like.
Yeah. It's always like so unnatural looking.
Yeah.
You're like.
Yeah.
You know.
Or I'll like, I even did this, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I even did that like with these in the last few days. But it wasn't exactly that. It was more because the girl complimented my nails. And I was like, she really liked those nails. So then I went.
Oh my God.
I went and looked in the mirror and I tried to like position myself in a way to see what they look like to her. Like, how would they have naturally caught her eye? I was never going to tell anyone that. I'm pretty embarrassed.
This is like, you know what this is the same thing as like when you follow. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
You tried to reenact doing the things that you were doing in front of her to see how they looked to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
This reminds me of like, I've done this before where I like follow somebody on Instagram who I like am like interested in.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for them to follow me back, or they just had followed me back. And so I look at my Instagram to be like, what are they seeing?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Who do they think I am?
Yeah. Like, what do I look like to them?
Yeah.
You know? And then it's just like clips of this show being like, my dog watched me come once.
And I can't even see myself.
Yeah.
And I can't get out of my own perspective because I'm watching us talk about dog farts and stuff.
Dog farts.
And I'm like, pretty cool, my friend Ali and me, huh?
I know. And
But
then
I'm just sucked into our friendship.
Yeah.
I'm sucked in, Ali. Get me out of this friendship, Connor.
I'm sucked in.
I need help.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of this friendship.
Wait, what is that?
You know that show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here?
Oh, no, I don't know it.
It's like it's like a really old TV show that's like, it's like D-list celebrities who nobody would recognize go on this show and they do normal people things, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of this friendship. I'm sucked in.
I'm sucked in.
I'm sucked in. Get me out of this friendship.
New merch. I'm sucked in.
I'm sucked in.
Small font. Get me out of this friendship.
In parentheses.
Yeah. Really small, like it's whispered. Because you can't say it too loud.
Yeah. And it's like black text on a black shirt.
Yeah.
So nobody knows. It just seems like I'm sucked in.
Uh-huh.
Except for our other clowns out there who know what we're talking about.
In. It looks positive and good unless you know what's up. Unless you know it's a cry for help.
I love that it's a cry for help.
Yeah.
How was your Christmas? Give us your updates.
Well, I had 2 Christmases since we last potted, I think.
Yeah.
And one of them was in Washington State with my family. Both my brothers were there with their kids. And that was so fun.
Finally. Lucy and Benjamin and Baron.
They met one other time, Lucy and Benjamin. Those are the older ones. One's 2, one's 4. But she was a baby. So it was
it's way different.
And he was too young. I don't think he understood.
Totally.
But now he knows who she is. He talks about her all the time, like just from pictures. So he was excited.
Oh my God, that's so
They kept
sweet.
hugging. It was so cute.
Oh my God,
it was adorable.
So sweet.
They loved each other.
Oh my God.
They played together real fun. I don't know. Play together real. What does that mean?
They played together real fun. I could tell it was real
Benjamin
fun.
also, he was saying really funny stuff. Like first thing that happens is I'm like, hey Benjamin, how are you? And he's like, I'm 4.5. I think he's like so used to being asked how old he is that he just is like, let me get this out of the way.
4.5.
He was
before you asked.
Yeah, he seemed frustrated about it. He's like, I'm 4.5, okay? And then I was like, oh, what do you turn next? And he's like, 5.5. And then he's like, and 5 before that.
Okay, can I tell you something?
That's how I talk.
No.
Oh, okay.
The same voice that you do for Benjamin is the same voice that you do for Dwayne. You're always
true.
describing Dwayne as being like, I got slippers. That's your Dwayne voice.
Actually, I just realized, like, just before I came here, I was at his place because I had to drop something off. And I was telling Sam about Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling Sam about how, like, we were opening presents. So now I'm mixing the 2 Christmases up.
Yeah.
We're bouncing out of Washington Christmas.
And
now
going
we're going
to Washington, D.C.
Christmas. We're opening gifts up. His mom got him slippers, which actually I got him slippers too, but
Damn.
I got the wrong size.
Oh, fuck.
So now I don't have to replace them because his mom got him the right size.
Now you can return them for those
the better
big
woman
bucks.
in his life.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's opening the slippers and it had like, one of those strings attaching the 2 slippers on it. And I just was like saying something stupid and I turned to him and I was like, oh, it's got those strings on it. So you don't lose the pair. It keeps the pair together. And he goes, that's not true. Like he thought I really meant that. And it sounded like a kid being like, no, I know better.
Yeah, I'm 4.5.
I'm 4.5. So anyway, Benjamin's being really funny. He was saying, my little brother got him like a miniature American Airlines plane to play with. Because my brother's a pilot there. And my sister-in-law was like, your Uncle Casey flies that type of plane. And Benjamin goes, I already know that. Which he said to everybody at some point.
Really? He said, I already know that?
He's like, I already know that. Well, he doesn't want any new info, but he's at an age where he's starting to know when he knows stuff already.
Totally.
But he doesn't know how to convey it in a way that's not rude.
Yeah, he has no tact.
He's like, I already know.
Yeah. He's like, I already know that. That's not true.
Yeah.
I'm 4.5. These are all things Dwayne would say, by the way.
At one point he goes, he's like, sorry, I want to get the exact quote.
You
I
wrote it
down
down?
quotes. He goes, oh, another thing he's doing a lot. He'll go, did you know? And then he'll just say something he knows about. Like, that's how he starts conversations now. Did you know?
Did you know that I'm gonna go to the bathroom now? It's like shit like that.
It was like anything. And then one time he goes, did you know my dad can put me on top of his neck? And he's all excited. And he doesn't have a conversation. He just says it and he runs away. You know?
God, he sucks at conversation.
Yeah. But we were talking about how it's like, it almost feels like he's having intrusive thoughts, but they're like positive. He's just remembering this exciting thing he knows.
This is kind of what it's like
awesome.
to hang out with you sometimes.
What do I do?
You'll just be like, there's a squirrel over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, me and Dwayne watched the squirrel,
What? No, where the fuck is this going? You watched a squirrel what?
No, we watched a bunch of squirrels.
No, what the hell?
It's this guy on YouTube, like, put together this squirrel, it's like a, not
You're
a
watching
ropes.
YouTube videos of squirrels.
Yeah, for like an hour. And magpies as well.
Oh, magpies
Very
are
smart.
interesting because they
Yeah.
attack people.
Yeah, man. I actually love birds. I thought it was a bit when we started this pod, but I think I actually am starting to like birds.
Birds are cool. Yeah,
They're
birds
very
are like,
cool.
I would never own one
Mostly
because they're
the
too
crows
smart.
and magpies, though. They're like
I also like parrots.
so wise.
I love the parrots that are like,
parrots.
kissy kissy.
Yeah.
I like those.
I love you.
They're like, mwah! I love those birds.
So anyway, we watched the squirrel. I'm saying too much. I have to save some of this for later. But there's this like guy on YouTube who put together this like course in his backyard to see how squirrels can get to this final target. So they have all these obstacles.
And
It's
they're
an
wild
obstacles
squirrels?
course. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they're wild, but they're like, they're hanging out in a suburban neighborhood.
Gotcha. Yeah,
yeah.
but they're not like his pet squirrels.
No.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And we watched this other one he put together for magpies. And that was more complicated because they can do so much more like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Really good Christmas. I watched videos of squirrels and magpies.
Yeah, you were like, me and Dwayne watched the squirrel thing, and I'm like, what? Where is this going? I actually have
those are my main Christmas updates for now.
I have an update for you.
Oh.
Specifically for you. Let me find this conversation. Okay. So Dwayne. Okay.
Oh, I already know about this.
Okay, well, I'll read the messages. This is so funny. Dwayne hit me up on Instagram and he said, hey, you online?
I know. Hey, you online is so like
you online?
early 2000s AOL.
I know.
Instant messenger.
And then he said, would Brittany like jewelry? I know she doesn't wear a ton, ...
The way it looked was so
It's
funny.
so
I
funny.
read it twice.
God, it's so funny. And then I said, I think she would like jewelry if it was like weird. Like if you got her a snake ring or like a necklace with a frog on it. Does that make sense? And he said, yeah, harder to find. And then I said, totally. I feel like you could find something cute like that on Etsy. And he said, she likes snakes and frogs. And I said, yeah, or like something with a horse on it, like a silly little animal thing. And he said, I fear I don't know this woman at all. By the way, this is on December 21st.
I know. Yeah. I left his place. He was like, I gotta go shopping for you today. And like, the plan was for me to leave so he could go shop.
Dude, and then I was like, I like made some other suggestions, and then he doesn't get back to me. 2 hours later, he DMs me. He says, I just saw a snake necklace. Haha. And I said, oh, hell yeah. And he said, not getting it, though. Already got her a different one. And I was like, that's great, buddy.
Man.
The most insane interaction I ever had.
Yeah, it was so funny. Actually, I forgot to put on the necklace he did get me. I really like it. I also laughed so hard at that because when he showed it to me, he was like, snakes and frogs?
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you don't know this woman at all.
So the thing is, I am not that big of a fan of snake and frog jewelry. Like, and also, I think I play up snakes and frogs for the podcast.
Well, in my
so
mind,
maybe you don't know me.
Okay, first
None
of all,
of you know me. You never will. You'll keep trying, and you never will.
Well,
But
first
so
of all,
I was like, I mean, it makes sense for you to get me that gift.
yeah.
Or anyone, any pod fan who wants to send me snake and frog jewelry, I will love it. But I was like, for my boyfriend to buy me a frog necklace, I would have been like, what the hell?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I think it would be hilarious. And also, like, I think that you like jewelry if it's like a little weird. And so I was trying to explain it to this 4-year-old that you're dating via DM on Instagram.
Are you online?
Even though he has my number, by the way.
I know. I know. He said that. He was like, I could have texted her, but
yeah. Instead of being like, hey, you online?
for some reason, he didn't know why he went with Instagram. He was like, why did I do that?
God, it's so funny.
You online?
But I was like, if you're thinking it, my thought was, if you're thinking of jewelry, get her something weird.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if he got you, because also men are so bad at buying jewelry.
Yeah.
They always buy you like heart-shaped jewelry, which is the ugliest kind of jewelry.
He was like, yeah, I thought of a heart, but I was like, that's hack. I don't want to get her a heart.
All right. So he knows.
But he wanted to get something simple because he thinks I normally wear simple jewelry, which is true.
Yeah.
Even though I do have some weird stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're right that I would like weird stuff. But if my boyfriend buys me a necklace that's a little weird, I have to really love it to be able to wear it enough to feel good about it. Like, I don't want him to get me something where I'm like, well, now I got to wear this every day. I don't like wearing this every day.
Gotcha. That's
too
fair.
Weird.
Well, there was that one time we got mood rings together.
Yeah.
And you were like, I was at Ambush and you were like, hey, check this out. And then you put your hand in my face and it was the mood ring. Yeah. And I was like, cool.
That's because we got them together.
I know. I'm not saying it's bad.
I like to have special moments with my friends.
Yeah. I guess in my mind, that's what you are, is look at this.
I know. You think I'm also a 4-year-old. I get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at my mood ring. Happy.
I guess it is different coming from a boyfriend.
Yeah, I think so.
I did make Dave stickers that said "You got Daved" and has his face on it.
I bet he loved it.
He liked it, yeah. And then my brother and his fiance were like, "Can we have one?"
But man, I thought that was so funny too.
Dude,
you online?
I was losing my mind. I fear I don't know this woman at all.
Frogs and snakes.
She likes frogs and snakes? ? And I'm like, what parts of herself is she hiding from Dwayne if he doesn't know this?
It's not hidden. And this is another thing I was saying to him. I was like, yeah, me and Ali talk about frogs and snakes all the time. You're the only person I talk about frogs and snakes with. Did you know that, Ali?
That is a shock.
Special to our relationship.
That is a shock
Except
to me.
Eitan when we were on that trip together because we were all doing a bit.
We were talking about frogs.
Okay,
it was not a bit for me. I love frogs.
I actually don't. I like frogs. They're not my favorite. The bit for me was to get my For You page to be all frogs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It became what I was at that time. I guess.
Yeah.
See,
totally.
I don't know myself at all. I could be different any moment.
Yeah. There was that one that's like, this is a man.
But that's special to our friendship.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Man, I guess I don't know you at all.
No, but doesn't that make it better?
I guess it does make it better.
I guess me and Maggie have talked about this, where it's like my relationship with anyone, any friend, is like so different.
That's true. Yeah, me too.
You know?
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, I'm bigging up my frog parts for you.
You're bigging them up.
Bigging up my frog parts for you is the title.
It sounds so gross. It does. I'm bigging up my frog parts for you.
Which parts?
What are your frog parts? What the hell?
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Wait, so is that all you had to say about your Christmas?
I guess I have more. I'll do one more because
Okay.
I think I'll think of more stuff from the DC trip later. It's just, I just got home. You know how sometimes the end of a vacation, you're like, what even happened?
Totally. Yeah. 100%.
But it was really fun. But when I was in Washington State, we went to see Wicked. Me, my mom.
The movie.
Me, my mom, and my dad. My dad came along. He was pretty reluctant, but I think he just wanted to hang, you know?
Whoa.
Which is nice. He wanted to spend time.
Damn.
And he hated it. I knew he would hate it, but it was just so funny because it was a really long movie, too. It was like 2.5 hours.
It's like 3 hours or something ridiculous.
So long. I would look over at him and he's like sitting like this. He's like got his hand in his head. Head in his hand. Head in his hand. Head in his hand.
You had a long day. It's all right.
He looked so miserable. At some point towards the end, he gets up and leaves and doesn't even say anything like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. Hey, I'll be right back or anything like that. He gets up and leaves and I can tell he's pissed.
What is he pissed about?
It's a long movie he didn't really like. And then he didn't realize it was just about to end. So then me and my mom were leaving the theater and he's walking back up and he's like, oh, is it over?
He's like real excited.
So excited that it's over. And then he's just like ranting about it with me and my mom for so long. He's like, man, there's no storyline. Just when you think you know the story, they break out in song. It's like the song deletes his memory, so he can't keep track of it because he doesn't listen to the song. He hated
the song
the singing.
has plot in it.
I know, but for him, it's like just meaningless. It's like a commercial or something.
God.
And then he like can't keep track of the rest. I don't know what was going on with him. And then
he's just confused. He's just angry because he's confused.
Yeah. And he was looking up the movie during and he found out it was 2 hours and 40 minutes and he got like more pissed. And then we were leaving the theater and he was just talking about how bad it was and he was like, man, I feel so much better. He's like, I feel like I've been reborn.
After leaving Wicked. God. Yeah, I feel like people of our parents' generation are very much like that, where they'll see media that is not made for them.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I don't like this. Why am I seeing it? Yeah. And it's like, it's just not targeted at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Even with Ariana Grande, he was like, and that little tiny white girl. That's how he described her. He's like, what was she even doing there?
She's Glinda, bro.
I know.
She's like the main character.
He seemed to think she had no real like role.
That's so fascinating.
I know.
God. I would love to. They should make a like YouTube channel or like website of dads talking about movies.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, that little tiny white girl, what's she even doing there? Anyway, F.
She just kept coming into the scene.
1 star.
Having lines.
As soon as you think you know the plot, they start singing 1 star.
Yeah, it was good. Those are most of my updates, I think.
Hell yeah, dude. I did Christmas in Rehoboth. At my brother's house. Dave came. Dave met my dad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And my dad was
rabbit impression?
No, but there were offensive accents.
Oh, there we go. That's pretty much what I meant.
My dad was so excitable that day, similar to when he met you.
Oh, so he was trying to impress.
Yeah, he was trying to impress.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was like...
Because you were wondering if it'd be the same. Because with me, it's like, you know...
Yeah.
I'm a friend.
You're like a female friend, non-threatening.
Yeah.
I bring in a man who's essentially my father's peer, age-wise. And... Just kidding. My dad's like 65 and Dave is like 42. But...
Was there ever a moment where they did connect on an age-related thing? That'd be so funny.
No. It's not like...
Remember Pogs?
Yeah. Remember when Jimmy Carter was president? Yeah. R.I.P. Jimmy Carter.
He died today, right?
R.I.P. Yes, he died today, which is crazy. He was like 105 or some shit. Yeah. And he was like still going to like Habitat for Humanity and pretending to nail stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
He was like 1,000 years old going to build homes for Habitat for Humanity. And there's no way he was doing anything there, by the way. He was just showing up.
They had one of those like, I mean, I assume they have these, like a fake nail.
Yeah.
Where it's plastic, but it looks like it goes in.
Yeah, totally.
It's just a tack or something.
Yeah, and they're like, you put him on that nail and he'll get worn out in like 10 minutes. He'll sit down and get back to work. Yeah. Imagine working at Habitat for Humanity, building homes for people who don't have homes, and then you show up and there's like the Secret Service and the oldest man you've ever seen there. What the fuck? Yeah. Like those people actually doing the work must be so pissed.
Yeah.
Anyway, So him and my dad, my dad was like super excitable. Yeah. Like he kept talking about like cooking and shit. And he was like, oh, let me tell you something. My friend Bob, he died a few years ago and he knew he was gonna die. So he kept doing this thing where he was like talking and then walked out of the room while he was talking and then walked back in and kept continuing the conversation without stopping.
Just to keep visual attention on him, or
Well,
was it like
to like
he
go
had
get
to get
stuff
something?
to get something, and so he was like,
That's what I thought.
yeah. No, imagine if he was like, and so
It would be so funny,
eyes on me, and
like you have to
what
do
I
with
said
like
was-
toddlers. You have to like be like, I'm
Yeah.
right here.
You have to like jingle your keys so they look
Yeah.
over there. Yeah. But so he was like, my friend Bob, he died a few years ago. He knew he was gonna die, and the last time I saw him, he gave me this. He walks out of the room, he comes back in, and he has like an apron with a pig on it and a chef's hat, and he's like, he gave me this before he died, and then my dad wore it for the rest of the
Wait,
night.
so I know it's before he died, and that could have been at any moment. Maybe he wasn't that close to death yet. But what if it was a serious moment where he's really on his way out?
Yeah.
And it's like emotional.
He's like in a
and he's
hospital
giving
bed.
him
And he's
an
like,
apron with a pig on it.
he's like, Rob Jeffrey.
That's how I want ours to be.
Dude, I'm gonna be like, Brittany, come closer. Come closer. I have to give you this. And then it'll be like one of those flowers that squirts water at you if you smell it.
Yeah, yeah.
But and so he like wore the pig apron for like the rest of the dinner. and then so
Did he keep looking down on it and pat the pig? Like,
and he's like,
I can imagine him doing
that's my
that.
friend Bob.
Yeah.
And then he's like doing the side of the
Yeah.
cross and being like, for my you still got shooters out there,
Hey,
Bob.
what did he say in the prayer this time?
Oh my God. I wish I wrote down the word that he said.
Just to remind
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
or let anyone know who doesn't know, when I met Allie's dad, he did a prayer. We were at a Mexican restaurant, the only people there. He did a long prayer. We're right in the middle of the restaurant, and it was really rambly. It went on for forever.
This one was extremely rambly as
Yeah.
well. And he kept saying, like, I wish I remembered the exact word, but he kept saying, like, what's like a fancy word for like to bring to?
Come forth.
Yeah. Let's say come
Fruition.
forth.
Something bringing to a fruition.
Yeah, but it
We don't
was
have
us
to keep doing
traveling.
this.
He kept being like, and
We
thank
did
you,
a
Lord,
crossword
for...
over the Christmas. Oh, I got way too into that. Just like
Yeah,
I
of
did
course
when
you
I
did. Oh, sorry, our feet
puzzles
touched.
at that party.
I hope you liked
bet
it,
they
you sick
like that.
fucks on... Oh, God. Here we go.
Okay.
You
All
sick
right.
fucks on YouTube.
Okay.
Is this what it takes to get views? But like he kept being like so like he kept being like, and thank you God for allowing Ali and Dave to come forth to
on the journey
to Cranston and it's just like
yeah.
and then he kept
That's
using
exactly how our prayer was.
yeah, and he kept saying, I think my dad's losing it a little bit because he can't talk as much as well anymore, and it's terrible because he talks so much, and like he kept saying like whatever the word was, come forth. Like he said it maybe 4 different times, and he's like, I hope that they come forth good on their journey to Brooklyn, and
coming forth in the new year.
I'm glad
I
we
hope
could.
they
I'm
come
glad we
forth
could come
somewhere.
forth together for dinner tonight and come forth to church later. He said it like multiple times.
Did you guys go to church?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
and the praise band sucked.
Oh,
It was just like 2
not up to
ladies
your
with
standards.
it was 2. Well, it's always sucked.
Yeah,
But it was 2 ladies with flutes who were
Oh.
not even playing the same song. I
Anemic.
feel like, yeah, and they were both 100 years old. And and another thing for his gift, my dad and my stepmom love gardening.
Mhm.
So I was doing some research online about like gardening stuff that they wouldn't have. And I found this knife called a hori hori knife, which is a Japanese gardening knife,
Oh,
which is like kind of an all-purpose tool. And so it has like a blade on it and then a serrated edge, and it's like wide enough so you can use it as a trowel, you can cut
Mm.
roots, you can do a lot of stuff with it essentially. So my dad took it out of the box and he was like, oh, he was like losing his mind, and he like took it out.
did
And
he
he was
already know about these knives?
no, but I explained
Oh.
it to him.
Mm.
And he kept doing a offensive Japanese accent.
Oh yeah.
And he kept swinging it around.
Oh.
And he kept doing this. He kept being like
man.
he was like,
because he got into nunchucks
yeah, he loves
for a
nunchucks.
while as well.
Yeah, totally. And so he loved that. He was losing his
Nunchucks are
mind.
Japanese, right? Or are they?
They may be I think they're probably Japanese, but
Yeah.
I can't say for sure, and
Yeah,
I'm not
I
going to
don't
say
know.
on this pod.
Yeah, I'm not going to say with confidence. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, and then on Christmas Day, we got up and we opened gifts, and then we had breakfast. We got drunk. We went on a 2-mile hike with the dogs. We come back. Owen's making the prime rib, and we're like cooking and stuff. And then he's like, "You guys want to go shoot cans outside?" So we went out back and we shot cans with his pellet gun.
Cool. Wait, with your dad's pellet gun?
No, my brother's.
Oh, okay.
This is just my brother and me and Dave and Lindsay.
That's fun.
And let me tell you something. I haven't shot cans in
I've never
15
done this.
years. I used to shoot my dad's BB gun all the time, and it came right back, dude. Let me tell you, there was 3 cans lined up.
I can imagine you easily doing it.
It was crazy how I'm so surprised at how good I was at it. I like there were 3 lined up, and I went bam, 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 and shot all 3 of them just one shot. It was crazy.
How was Dave at it?
Dave was pretty good at it too.
Nice.
Yeah. Lindsay and her mom were not as good. The women.
Yeah. The women.
Unlike me, I'm a man. I'm a boy.
Oh man.
But yeah, so it was a great Christmas. Best Christmas ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and my Dave got my brother a water bottle on it that says piss.
Oh yeah.
And my brother
piss,
loved
piss.
it. Dude.
Shane's joke.
I know. Piss. And I went into the kitchen immediately after we opened presents, and I saw it washed on the dish rack.
He's ready for you.
He was ready.
Can't wait to use my piss bottle.
Yeah, I know. He was so ready for it. Oh, God.
His tree boys are going to love that. Based on the story you told me about his tree boys.
His tree
and
boys,
how they just go in the back of people's yards and pretend to jack off.
Yeah.
That's what they did, right? Is that what they're really called?
I might take it out. I'll need to take it out. But man, yeah, it's great. So best Christmas ever. And now
Below and brought forth tree company. That's what we'll put in.
Yeah.
And then you can clip what I said there and replace the earlier one. It'll sound so weird.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like, below and brought forth tree company.
I'm going to do that, by the way. It's going to be just for the people who listen for the whole pod. They'll get a little treat.
They had to do it in post. It's like when you can tell in a movie when someone did
something's like ADR,
after,
yeah. Totally. You just see the back of their head and it's just like a completely different sound.
And you can tell their head's not, like, you need to see something. You can always tell.
Totally. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We got 20 minutes.
Clock's in a different place too, Connor.
Yeah.
Every time we come into the studio and Connor's here, it's like a spot the difference task, like in those newspapers.
It's like an I Spy.
Yeah, I Spy.
Totally. He's like, we walked in, he's like, oh, what's different?
And I'm like, this isn't fair. You know I have no memory. You're like, it's like asking like a dog. A dog would know. Betty would know.
Well, a dog would know. A dog would know. Yeah, I know. It's weird. It took
I don't know. I only feel. Like, like when I sat down here, I was like, wait, am I supposed to be here? This feels weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I sitting in the wrong spot? And then I was like, oh, it's just because this part's gone.
Yeah. And you're like, something's different. It feels bad in here. Panic.
Were you about to say something?
No. Well, I was, but I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say that dogs do have good memory because it took her like a month to learn paw, but there's been like a magical, like when I lived in Williamsburg, there was like, she found a chicken nugget under a bush once. And every time we went by that bush for like a year after, she would be like, the chicken nugget bush.
Yeah. Man. Well, that's how I'm going to feel about, never mind. I was going to talk about the robbery again, but we don't need to keep promoting the robbery.
You guys have heard all of it.
Yeah.
I got another call from the
me too.
Precinct, by the way. I didn't pick up. And the guy was like, this is the victim support unit. If you need anything, just let me know.
Yeah. So this time he called me. I did pick up. And he was like, do you need anything? And I was like, well, has anything happened? Same question as before. And he's like, oh, let me check that out for you. And then he went and looked. He said, I don't know. And then he gave me the detective's phone number.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I already have this. I was like, I already know this.
Yeah. I already know that.
I'm 4.5. Benjamin is so mad that people were telling him stuff he knew. I mean, I do get mad when people tell me something I know too much.
Too much, yeah.
But you just got to accept it.
Yeah, I don't think he's there yet with it.
No.
He's like, I'm 4, I know everything.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm jealous of him a little bit because he's just he's soaking stuff up so fast. You will never learn like that again the rest of your life.
They should teach him a second language. Teach him Spanish right now.
Oh, he does know a second language.
What is his second language?
Farsi.
Really?
His mom is Persian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So he knows
He's already doing
Farsi
it.
and English?
He
Jesus
also-
Christ.
He learned pretty quickly. Like, even 2 years ago, he would know not to do it with my parents, but to do it with her parents.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's
It's
crazy.
so fast. Or sometimes he'd accidentally do it to my dad. He'd say a word, like he like wanted something and my dad didn't, and he'd realize he didn't understand, and then he would shift to the English word.
That's
Crazy. I know.
Holy shit.
It's wild.
Jesus Christ.
These kids are so smart. They're learning so fast. That's when you do a PhD, when you're 4.5. It'd be so easy. You have an advantage.
That's when you do your PhD. Not at my old 25-year-old brain.
Should we get into our stories?
Yeah.
We're getting in late.
I know. Yeah, let's do quick stories. I mean, my story's already quick.
We could just go right to the post.
You know what? Let's just go right to the post because I feel like it's a meaty post.
Me too. And I have a story related to the post.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
Dude, my hands smell like garlic. I gotta show you this fucking soup I made. I made soup right before this. It was extremely good. Look at that fucking soup.
Oh, what is that?
It's like
That's really
it's like a chicken soup, a tomato-based chicken soup. It's got chicken, and the recipe called for gnocchi, but I couldn't find them in the grocery
yum.
store, so I just fucking
You
put
do
in
soup
pasta.
a lot,
I love soup. It's one
love
dish a
soup
lot of the
too.
time.
man.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the post. This is on the Museum of Reddit.
Museum of Reddit just means that it's a very important post from the
Yeah.
in terms of Reddit.
Yeah.
If you're a
So you might know
Redditor,
the
you know
post.
this one, yeah.
Oh, the original was removed as well. Okay. My family poops big. Nice.
Hell yeah.
My family might poop big, but we can't talk about it. So
My family poops
I'll
big.
never know that part of my
I've
family.
seen my brother's dumps. It's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's our diet, but everyone births giant logs of crap. I gotta know how big these are.
Yeah.
Like, what are you imagining?
I guess like this
It's-
big around.
The width has to be big because it's easy to create a long, big one.
Yeah, totally.
I think
I'm
it's
not impressed by that.
width-wise
Yeah.
Difficult.
Its girth is difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're wide. If anyone has laid a mega poop, you know that sometimes it won't flush. It lays across the hole in the bottom of the bowl, and the vortex of draining water merely gives it a spin as it mocks you. Another person who worked really hard on the
I know,
wording
yeah.
here. Like saying as it mocks you about an object is like a very like
Poetic.
hack.
Yeah.
It's like in every novel.
Totally.
I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. What?
During Christmas, at some point, what was the context? It was like Dwayne was talking about, I don't know, it came up like in their childhood that he would read a lot. He was like, yeah, I was always reading like novels. And his sisters were like, what novels? And he's like, oh God. He's like, like Goosebumps. Like he referred to it as a novel. It's so
I mean,
funny.
they are technically novels,
Yeah,
but
it's
to be like, the great American novels like Goosebumps and Animorphs.
Okay, so it gives it a spin as it mocks you. Growing up, this was a common enough occurrence that our family had a poop knife.
Hell yeah.
It was an old rusty kitchen knife that hung on a nail in the laundry room, only to be used for that purpose. It was normal to walk through the hallway and have someone call out, "Wait, it's just hanging in the laundry room? Just a poop knife?
It should be next to the
It
toilet.
should be in the bathroom."
Yeah.
It was an old rusty kitchen knife that hung on a nail in the laundry room, only to be used for that purpose. It was normal to walk through the hallway and have someone call out, "Hey, can you get me the poop knife?" I thought it was standard kit. You have your plunger, you have your toilet brush, and your poop knife. So put them next to each other at least.
Also, the
Rinse it
idea.
off in the toilet.
Also, it's like the idea that you have to saw it in half. I feel like,
That's how big a poop we're talking.
but also like, couldn't you like? This is disgusting. Couldn't you like? Okay, if it's like up across the bowl,
Yeah.
if you took the brush or the plunger and pushed it in, it would break in half, right? Like
Yeah.
how solid Are they
you
like
could somehow spin it around.
Are they like chicken bones?
Mhm.
Like how hard are they? I don't know.
That's not in here, I don't think.
That was so diplomatic. That's not in here,
That's
I don't
not in
think.
here. By the way. Hey, can you give me the poop knife? I thought it was standard. Okay. Fast forward to 22. I guess that's years old. It's been a day or two between poops, and I'm over at my friend's house. My friend was the local dealer and always had guests over because you can't buy weed without sitting your ass and sampling it for an hour. I excuse myself and lay a gigantic turd. I look down and see that it's a sideways one. Uh-oh.
It's a sideways one.
So I crack the door. It's just weird for it to even... How does it even land sideways?
Maybe his asshole is sideways.
That's the problem.
His whole family's assholes
Because
are
I feel
crooked.
like the chances that it gets in there and isn't straight... It's rare for me to see a poop that's on the side.
No, me too. It's always like, you know, when you...
So what is it, a ball?
Yeah, I know.
It's just a huge ball.
Or it's just like...
It's just like
it comes,
oblong
maybe
little.
he's sitting on the toilet wrong.
I don't know.
Like if he's all like to the side and it comes down like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope you guys are really imagining this and eating, by the way.
Because I do feel, we know a lot of men. We know a lot of men comics who would be happily telling us about poop like this if they had it.
Totally.
And I have never heard of this.
Neither have I.
So,
mine always comes out sideways.
Yeah. That would have come up.
That would have come up.
Definitely.
You guys have poops that come out sideways? Mine are always sideways.
Yeah.
Then I gotta get the poop
knife.
knife.
It would be like in bits. It would be like a hack bit.
Totally. Yeah.
I excuse myself and lay a gigantic turd. I look down and see that it's sideways, so I crack the door and call out for my friend. He arrives and I ask him for his poop knife. It's crazy you think it's... I mean, he's 22 and he's just out of home, I guess, so... But you've been to friends' houses.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a knife in anybody else's house?
He says, "What the fuck is a poop knife?" Obviously. Yeah. Obviously, he has one, but maybe he calls it by a more delicate name.
Yeah.
A fecal cleaver, a dung divider, a guano glaive. This is obviously a conversation they had afterwards, and he's like, "I'm going to fit that in."
Yeah.
I explain what it is and why I want it. He starts giggling, then laughing. Giggling and then laughing.
And then laughing, by the way.
Then lots of people start laughing. Then they giggle. You didn't say that. It just goes up and down. It turns out the music stopped and everyone heard my pleas through the door. It also turns out that none of them had poop knives. It was just my fucked up
Nobody
family.
had one on them?
Yeah, with their fucked up bells. I told this to my wife last night, who was amused and horrified at the same time. It turns out she did not know what a poop knife was and had been using the old rusty knife hanging in the utility closet as a basic knife. You gotta, if you're married, you have a conversation about which one is the poop knife. Even if you don't, if your wife, you've never talked about this, you go in there and you're like, "Hey, honey, this is a poop knife." And then she goes, "What?"
Yeah, I know. And then you
that's
have the
when you find out.
Yeah.
I think you're not talking to your wife.
That's true.
That's all that's happened here. What do you guys talk about if you're not talking about where the poop knife is at all times?
Yeah. Do you know how many sisters she has? If you're not talking about the fucking poop knife, you don't know her at all.
Do you even know that she likes frogs and snakes? So it turns out she doesn't know about it. Thankfully, she didn't cook with it, but used it to open Amazon packages.
God, there's shit all over. There's
still
shit
pretty
remnants. Bad. Well,
she'll be getting her own utility knife now. Okay. Does she really want that? Oh, common question was, why was this not in the bathroom? Answer, we only had one poop knife, and the laundry room was central to all three bathrooms. I have no idea.
Big
That's
house.
a weird setup for a house. The laundry room, and there's three.
Yeah. Just get two more
Get
poop
more
knives.
poop knives. You don't want that running around your house.
What if you just got like a plastic knife?
Yeah.
Like a plastic knife that you use like cutlery.
Yeah.
God.
Just a long plastic knife.
Yeah. Like the ones that they cut cakes with and shit
Yeah.
at weddings.
This is so weird.
So strange.
I have no idea why we didn't have 3. All I know is we didn't. Look, I did. I don't know. I think it feels traumatic to him now that he's like remembering it. He doesn't have any detail.
He's like, listen, you're giving me the 3rd degree. I hate this.
Possibly because my father was so notoriously cheap about the weirdest things. Yeah, also, I wouldn't want to be sharing a poop knife. It is weird enough to share. Like, if I'm at someone else's house and I have to use their plunger or their brush,
Yeah.
I'm like, that feels weird.
Feels intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
You got to give out a brush to any new guest in your house.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, also like any new guest.
Yeah.
You walk into somebody's house, they give you a toilet brush, and you're like, in
Here's
case
your
you
poop
leave
brush.
streaks.
Here's your, yeah, in case you leave them. So what's funny about this post too is that I actually thought of this post. I was reminded of it yesterday
Okay.
because
Because?
I took a shit. And I've been traveling a lot. You know, my
Okay.
poops have been really weird.
Yeah,
They-
totally.
When I travel, they get too hard
When I travel,
and
I don't
thick.
poop for
They're
days.
like really compacted.
Yeah.
And it was super thick. And it never is like that. Like it didn't if I couldn't if that was in a lineup of my different shits, I'd be like, not that one.
Yeah.
That's never happening to me.
Dude, sometimes you take a shit, you stand up, you look down, you're like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. You're like, what just happened?
You're like, I've never seen that guy before in my entire life.
So I took a shit last night and it was like that. And I was like, geez. You know when you look down and you're like, geez.
Yeah, you're like,
I've been traveling.
you're like, did I do that?
Yeah. And as I'm starting to flush, I noticed that these toilets, sometimes the part that dips in the bottom, it was really narrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? And the poop was kind of sideways. It must have been bowl related or something.
Sorry, listening to Dr. Brittany figure this out is like so insane. You're like, it must have been bowl
The
related.
physics of the bowl, you
it
get
makes
it.
no sense. Yeah.
I'm a toilet girl. My father on it. Okay. But so I was like, oh no. Because it's sideways.
Mm-hmm.
It's really thick.
Yeah.
And that thing, I was like, it's not going to flush down then. And I flushed
Yeah.
twice. Doesn't move at all. Just goes up against it. And I was like, poop knife. And I thought of this post. And I was like, that's what their poop is like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have Brittany travel poops all the time.
Yeah.
Wait, so how did you remedy the situation?
Well, is this something I want to say on a pod? I have to.
You took it out with your hand?
No. But I saw the brush and the plunger and I was like, it feels weird just to put those on the poop.
Yeah, totally.
And every time I flushed, the water was like fully underneath it.
Yeah.
So I got a huge wad of toilet paper and all I did was like push it a tiny bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to like get the angle
just
right.
to get the angle.
Yeah.
And then it went right in. But yeah. So I don't know. Should I have said that?
No. I think that's really vulnerable of you to say. And
Yeah. Vulnerable. The only way I could say it was to talk about it in a vaguely scientific way first.
Yeah, you're like,
and I was
well,
like, it's logical.
There was a bowl issue, and
It was a bullshit. But yeah, so I get it.
That's crazy. And you were in an Airbnb.
No, I was at a restaurant.
You were at
Luckily.
a restaurant.
Yeah,
having huge dumps like that.
huge. And their family was waiting for me.
Wait to like leave.
No, I had
gotcha.
been like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. We
Yeah,
were all
and you were
about
in there
done
for a long time.
I was
Yeah.
in there not too long, but longer than it normally takes.
Yeah.
Because I was so constipated.
Totally. That makes sense. Was it a single stall bathroom at least?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If it
was
wasn't.
Oh, I would have been real stressed.
Yeah, me too.
But in a way, I would have been less stressed because it's like, there's so many stalls. It's more anonymous.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not like you leave the
It's
bathroom.
like, what
and
if I
somebody
leave the
goes in.
bathroom and my
turd didn't go down.
No, my boyfriend's sister's right there. And I left a huge turd sideways. You know?